It's a pleasure to have you join me on this virtual journey. Welcome. Welcome to our video on Michael Witzel. We're thrilled to have you here. Michael Witzel, born July 18, 1943, is a German-American philologist, comparative mythologist and Indologist. Witzel is the Wales Professor of Sanskrit at Harvard University and the editor of the Harvard Oriental Series volumes. He has significantly researched a number of Indian sacred texts, particularly the Vedas. Get ready for a captivating exploration as we unravel the layers of biography and their profound significance. Michael Witzel was born July 18, 1943, in Schwebes, Germany, modern Witzel, Poland. He studied Indology in West Germany from 1965 to 1971 under Paul Thiem, H.P. Schmidt, Kelvin Hoffman, and J. Narton, as well as in Nepal 1972 to 1973 under Mansokha Junanath Pundit. From 1972 to 1978, he led the Nepal German Manuscript Preservation Project and the Nepal Research Center in Kathmandu. Witzel has taught at Bingen 1972, Leiden, and at Harvard, and has been the Wales Research Professor since 2022. He has had visiting appointments at Kyoto twice, Paris twice, and Tokyo twice. He has been teaching Sanskrit since 1972. Witzel is editor-in-chief of the Electronic Journal of Vedic Studies and the Harvard Oriental Series. Witzel has been president of the Association for the Study of Language in Prehistory since 1999, as well as of the International Association for Comparative Mythology since 2006. He was elected to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2003 and was elected honorary member of the German Oriental Society in 2009. In 2013, he was appointed Cabot Fellow of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences at Harvard University, receiving recognition for his book on comparative mythology. Our focus now turns to philological research, an important aspect of our discussion. The main topics of scholarly research are the dialects of Vedic Sanskrit, Old Indian history, the development of Vedic religion, and the linguistic prehistory of the Indian subcontinent. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards early works and translations. Witzel's early philological work deals with the oldest texts of India, the Vedas, their manuscripts and their traditional recitation. It included some editions and translations of unknown texts 1972, such as the Karthainika. He has begun, together with Tigochu et al., a new translation of the Rigveda into German, books I2, 2007, books IIIV 2012, books VIVII 2022. Now, we shift our focus to Vedic texts, Indian history, and the emergence of the Kuru Kingdom, a topic that deserves our attention. After 1987, he has increasingly focused on the localization of Vedic texts 1987 and the evidence contained in them for early Indian history, notably that of the Veda and the following period, represented by the Bhakyajava Samhitas and the Brahmanas. This work has been done in close collaboration with Harvard archaeologists such as Meadow, with whom he has also co-taught. Witzel aims at indicating the emergence of the Kuru Kingdom in the Delhi area 1989, 1995, 1997, 2003, its seminal culture and its political dominance, as well as studying the origin of late Vedic polities and the First Indian Empire in eastern North India 1995, 1997, 2003, 2010. He studied at length the various Vedic recensions and their importance for the geographical spread of Vedic culture across North India and beyond. This resulted in book-length investigations of Vedic dialects 1989, the development of the Vedic canon 1997, and of Old India as such 2003, reprint 2010. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding pre-Vedic substrate languages of northern India and gain a fresh perspective. The linguistic aspect of earliest Indian history has been explored in a number of papers 1993, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2006, 2009 dealing with the pre-Vedic substrate languages of northern India. These result in a substantial amount of loan words from a prefixing language paramunda similar to but not identical with Austroasiatic Munda, Khasi, etc., as well as from other unidentified languages. In addition, a considerable number of Vedic and Old Iranian words are traced back to Central Asian substrate language 1999, 2003, 2004, 2006. This research is constantly updated, in collaboration with Fahrenheit, Southworth and D-Stamp, by the SARDA project including its South Asian Substrate Dictionary. As we venture forward, let's take a closer look at comparative mythology and its impact on our understanding. In recent years, he has explored the links between Old Indian, Eurasian and other mythologies 1990, resulting in a new scheme of historical comparative mythology that covers most of Eurasia and the Americas Laurasia. The related Harvard, Kyoto, Beijing, Edinburgh, Ravenstein, Netherlands, Tokyo, Strasbourg, St. Petersburg, Tübingen, Yerevan conferences of IACM. This approach has been pursued in a number of papers. A book published in late 2012, The Origins of the World's Mythologies, deals with the newly proposed method of historical comparative mythology at length. For scholarly criticism see, and for periodic updates see. It has been called a magnum opus, which should be taken seriously by social anthropologists, and was praised by Professor of Sanskrit Frederick Smith, who wrote that Bruce Lincoln concluded that Witzel in this publication theorizes in terms of deep prehistory, waves of migration, patterns of diffusion, and contrasts between the styles of thought and narration he associates with two huge aggregates of the world's population strikes me as ill-founded, ill-conceived, unconvincing, and deeply disturbing in its implications. In the next phase, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of criticism of indigenous Aryans and exploring its real-world applications. Witzel published articles criticizing what he calls spurious interpretations of Vedic texts and decipherments of Indus inscriptions such as that of N.S. Rajaram. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through Indus script and its far-reaching implications. Witzel has questioned the linguistic nature of the so-called Indus script Farmer, Sproat, Witzel 2004. Farmer, Sproat, and Witzel presented a number of arguments in support of their thesis that the Indus script is non-linguistic, principal among them being the extreme brevity of the inscriptions, the existence of too many rare signs increasing over the 700-year period of the mature Harappan civilization, and the lack of random-looking sign repetition typical for representations of actual spoken language, whether syllable-based or letter-based, as seen, for example, in Egyptian cartouches. Earlier, he had suggested that a substrate related to, but not identical with, the Austroasiatic Munda languages, which he, therefore, calls Paramunda, might have been the language of part of the Indus population. Ascoparpola, reviewing the Farmer, Sproat, and Witzel thesis in 2005, states that their arguments can be easily controverted. He cites the presence of a large number of rare signs in Chinese and emphasizes that there is little reason for sign repetition in short seal texts written in an early logosyllabic script. Revisiting the question in a 2007 lecture, Parpola takes on each of the 10 main arguments of Farmer et al. Presenting counter-arguments. He states that even short noun phrases and incomplete sentences qualify as full writing if the script uses the rebus principle to phonetize some of its signs. All these points are rejected in a lengthy paper by Richard Sproat, Corpora and Statistical Analysis of Non-Linguistic Symbol Systems 2012. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of shorter papers. Shorter papers provide analyses of important religious 2004 and literary concepts of the period and its Central Asian antecedents, as well as such as the oldest frame story 1986, 1987, prosometric texts 1997, the Mahabharata 2005, the concept of rebirth 1984, The Line of Progeny 2000, Splitting One's Head in Discussion 1987, The Holy Cow 1991, The Milky Way 1984, The Asterism of the Seven Masses 1995, 1999, The Sage Yamavilkya 2003, Supposed Female Rishis in the Veda 2009, The Persistence of Some Vedic Beliefs in Modern Hinduism 1989-2002, with cultural historians Steve Farmer and John B. Henderson, as well as Some Modern Indocentric Tendencies 2001. Other work 1976 deals with the traditions of medieval and modern India and Nepal, including its linguistic history, Brahmins, rituals, and kingship 1987 and present-day culture, as well as with Old Iran and the Avesta 1972, including its homeland in eastern Iran and Afghanistan 2000. Let's now turn our attention to conferences and examine its role within the larger context. Witzel has organized a number of international conferences at Harvard, such as the first of the Intermittent International Vedic Workshops 198,919,992,004, 2011 at Bucharest, 2014 at Kozhikode, Kerala, the first of several annual international conferences on dowry and bride burning in India 1995, the yearly round tables on the ethnicities of South and Central Asia 1999, and, since 2005, conferences on comparative mythology Kyoto, Beijing, Edinburgh, Ravenstein, Netherlands, Tokyo, Harvard, Tokyo, as well as at Strasbourg, St. Petersburg, Tübingen, and Yerevan. At the Beijing conference he founded the International Association for Comparative Mythology. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting California textbook controversy over Hindu history and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. In 2005, Witzel engaged other academics and activist groups to oppose changes to California state school history textbooks proposed by US-based Hindu groups, mainly the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS-linked organizations the Vedic Foundation and Hindu Education Foundation HEF. Witzel and his allies argued that the changes were not of a scholarly but of a religious political nature, reflecting a limited view on Hinduism which excludes non-Vaishnava traditions. Parents supportive of the changes said they wanted a fair representation of their culture, explaining that the current textbooks make their children ashamed. Witzel was appointed to an expert panel set up to review the changes, which was opposed by the HEF and the VF, claiming that Witzel knew little about Hinduism and ancient Indian history, and accusing him of leftist leanings and being biased against Hinduism, allegations he rejects. While the expert panel rejected most of the changes, the CBE nevertheless accepted most of them, under pressure of Hindu organizations. After further protest by scholars of South Asia, the CBE eventually rejected most of the changes proposed by the HEF and VF. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this video.